Hey, what's going on guys? The Deanless here, bringing you my Morigesh building guide. Now I know I'm a little late to the party. I know a lot of other YouTubers have uploaded builds and guides for already, but I wanted to share the deck that I've been using and that I've been doing really well with. As always, I have a link to the deck in the description below. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button so that you're the first person to know when I release new builds and guides. With that being said, let's get right into this. Now even with the slight nerfs she received 2 patches ago, Morigesh is still a top tier hero. In my opinion, she's definitely the best offlaner in the game, by far, and that's because of her ability to poke the opposing support and carry from distance while using her ranged basic attack, mark, and her hive abilities. Now with this new patch, the way I build Morigesh hasn't really changed, rather the way I play her has. Since Morigesh's damage, health, and mana have all been nerfed, you have to pick and choose your spots on when you're going to engage. You can't just spam all of your abilities anymore, especially when you're between levels 1 to 3. Once you get to level 4, that's when you can really start poking the opposing support and carry with hive, mark, and your basic attack. Now to start off this build, you're going to want to grab the Archmagus as your prime card. For consumables, you're going to want 1 cast token, 1 health potion, 1 mana potion, 1 strike token, and 1 healer token. For equipment, you're going to want a dummy ward, 2 adamant edges, 1 guardian's ward, 4 shadow scrolls, thick blood, and nature's muse. For the build order, you're going to want to start off with a health potion and a healer token. Nothing crazy there. The next card you're going to want to grab after that is going to be your guardian's ward. I like to push up and be very aggressive when I'm playing Morigesh, so you're definitely going to want that ward. After that, you're going to want to grab your 6-point adamant edge. The next 2 cards after your 6-point adamant edge are going to be your 6-point shadow scrolls. Once you have these cards equipped, you're going to want to grab nature's muse. You're going to be replacing your 6-point adamant edge with this card. Remember to fill it out completely, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to use the active. In order to use the active, you have to have the card completely upgraded. Once you back again, you're going to want to replace your 6-point shadow scrolls with your 12-point shadow scrolls. The final card in this build is going to be your 12-point adamant edge. The one card that's in this build that you'll notice is Thick Blood. I typically use this card only if the opposing team has someone like a Chimera or a Rampage that has a lot of health regen. This card will definitely make it a lot easier for you to deal with them, as you just mark that person or use Hive, just any one of your abilities, and then it makes it so much easier for your team to be able to kill that particular person, because it applies a Blight, which does 40% less health regen to that particular person, that particular character. Now Morigesh is viable in either the mid lane or the off lane, but in my personal opinion, I think she's a better off laner. She has a great poke, and she has high single burst target damage potential, so that makes her very good at securing kills early game when your jungler rotates over to gank for you. As a ranged caster in off lane, she has a significant advantage over melee fighters or even melee casters like Countess, as Morigesh can basic attack from a relatively safe distance without taking too much damage from the enemy supporting carry. This makes it pretty easy to hold your tower. I don't think I've ever lost a tower with Morigesh in under 10 minutes, just for an example. Whereas like if you're playing someone like Greystone, Feng Mao, Kwang, even those heroes, even if you play them well, if the opposing support and carry are being very aggressive, you can definitely leave your tower within the first 5 to 8 minutes or so. One thing of note is that with Morigesh, she is pretty susceptible to ganks, especially if you're playing her very aggressively. So like I said, that's why it's really important to first place your dummy ward at the start of the game. So typically what I'll do is I'll buy my cards very quickly. I'll place the dummy ward right by where Raptor Camp is or where Orb Prime is. Then I'll base back. Then I'll reapply my ward so I get an extra charge. Then I'll go back and then I'll place another ward on the opposite side of the fog wall. So that gives me a lot of vision, making sure that I don't get ganked by the mid laner or the opposing team's jungler. Now the order that I upgrade her abilities is going to be her Hive, Mark, and then her speed boost for the health regen last. Once I'm at level 4, I prioritize leveling up Mark first and then Hive. Mark is the ability that you're going to be using to do most of your damage. It's a lock-on ability that does around 300 to 400 damage late game, which makes it a pretty overpowered ability. The other thing that makes it very overpowered is that you don't need line of sight, so you can use this ability even if you can't see the person. As long as you have like a ward or another teammate can see the person, you can be on the opposite side of a wall and still use the ability. Once you mark a target and you use Hive, it applies AoE dot damage that lasts for, I think, 12 seconds on the ability hit. So I typically use these two abilities to just whittle down the opposing support and carry, and then once I get them low enough, I'm able to use my ultimate to finish them off. Now once the laning phase is over, you begin grouping up your teammates. You're going to want to prioritize the enemy carry and mid laner. Those are the two targets specifically that when you're playing Morigesh that you should be trying to focus on in team fights. Now in this game, I didn't use Blink Charm or Stab Blink because I didn't think I needed it, but this is why those two cards are amazing on Morigesh. The rationale behind it is that you can use Stab Blink to engage, mark the enemy ADC or mid laner. Then you want to use your speed boost and health regen to reposition yourself and get back to your team. Once the team fight actually begins, you can focus the carry now since you already have him marked. So you can use your Hive ability, and then you can potentially use Mark again to finish him off with your ultimate once he gets really low. Also, keep in mind that the dot damage on Hive can kill someone globally as well. So a lot of times, you don't necessarily have to pop your ultimate. If you're able to get off a combination of a few basic attacks, maybe 2 marks, and then Hive, that's usually enough to kill that particular person. So be wary of that, because you don't want to just use your ultimate if you don't need to. It may not always be to the detriment of your team. Like you can still win a team fight, but you definitely want to make sure that you have your ultimate ready and it's able to kill someone that your other teammates wouldn't be able to kill necessarily, because it's a global ult, whereas like a lot of other ultimates aren't global. So at the very least, like you should let someone, if you know that if you have like a Bellica for instance that has someone lined up, they have low mana, you know that they're going to use their ultimate, let her take that kill or let her use her ultimate for that, and then you still have your ultimate for, let's say, someone else who you can mark, and then they may have an escape and they're going to get away potentially, but then you have your ultimate then to use that to kill that particular person. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. If you use this build, let me know how it works out for you. I've been kind of backed up coming up with these building guides, so I still have a building guide that I'm going to do for Shinbi, Yin, and then the new hero Revenant that's going to come out next week. If there are any other heroes that you want to see me play, let me know down below. Once again, hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.